Okay, so if you still remember the logical end or end not, diba? We have the logical table, diba? We have the end table, let's say, and or the truth table. Truth table for end. Yeah. Ulit natin to. So this one, yan, is a truth table for or. So P or Q. Sabihin, pag P or Q or ang ginamit mo, let's say true and true. So kunyari, P is the first expression, then Q is the other expression, diba? Yan. So, diba sa or kasi, if either one of the expressions true, definitely true na yun. Diba? So, kaya, yung true dito, example natin, if this is an SQL statement, do sa under the where condition dito, where. So, under the where, okay, let's say for example, dalawa yung condition, condition 1 or condition 2. So, ito siya. Condition 1 which is P, condition 2 is Q. So, P or Q, meaning if the first condition, P, if it is true, or the second condition, Q, is true, then, ibig sabihin, it will display the record. True. So, true here means it will display the records. Okay? Now, if the first condition, which is P, is true, under the where clause, but if, or, the second condition is false, so, still it will display the record. Okay, because this is true. Okay, then let's say if the first condition is false or true, okay, it will still display the record. Okay, yeah. So why would it display the record? Kasi sa or, in an or logical or, meaning at least one of the condition must be true in order for the result to be true. So the result would always be true if either one of the expression is true or the condition is true. Okay? So either one. Definitely if all of the conditions are false, so there will be a false result. So meaning it will not display any record. So no matter how many conditions you have, as long as at least one of the condition is true, you have the or, meaning it will show the record. Okay? Now, ang ano naman, end. Ayan, this is the end. Okay? Regarding the end operator, so, in the end operator, in order for the result to be true, all conditions or all expressions must be true. Kagaya nito, we have two expression or two condition. We have the first condition is P, second condition is Q. Okay. If P is true and Q is true, that would be true. Okay? Sabi, magiging true lang if all conditions are true. But if one of it becomes false, so definitely the result will be false. Kasi in order for the result to be true, all conditions must be true. Okay? So, yan. So, true and false, false. False and true, false. False and false, false. So, why all of these are false? Because there is at least one condition becomes false. So, definitely, that would be false. So, no matter how many conditions you have, As long as all of them are true, then it will display the record. Okay? But if either one of it becomes false, then it will not display the record. Okay? In this one, the not, so ibig sabihin, uh, it will display if the condition is not true. Okay? So if the condition is not true, then it will display the record. Okay? Yeah. So, ganun yung, this is what it does, no? So, let's say, for example, let's try. Yeah. Okay. Try it yourself. Okay. So, let's say, for example, in this SQL, diba? Select asterisk. So, asterisk means you would want to display all of the fields. Okay? All of the fields of the customers table. So, this is the customers table. Let's open this on another page. Siya mag-open. Wait lang. Yan. So, these are the fields of the customers table. Customer ID, customer name, contact name, address, city, postal code, country. So, that's asterisk means, di ba? Okay, now, from the customers table. So, you want to display all of the fields from the customers table where the country, this is the field, is equals to Germany and the city is Berlin. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, you would want to see all customers who are, whose country is in Germany and those who lives in the city of Berlin. Diba? So, there are other cities in Germany that we have uh, customers then, pero what we would only want to see are just the people or our customers that are living in Berlin, no, in the city of Berlin from the country Germany. So this is what we would want to see only. Okay, so let's run. Yun. So we only have one customer living in Berlin, diba? Yeah. So this is what the SQL means. So when we say end, okay, ibig sabihin is looking for country which equals to Germany and he's looking for cities who's equal with Berlin. Diba? Let's try it without the end. Just like, ano lang, let's say, Germany lang. We wanted to see our customers from Germany. Yeah. So, walang end. Right. Okay, so these are the people or these are the customers that we have who are living in Germany. Tama? Yeah. But one of them lives in Berlin. So, ito yun. Ito yung pinakita kanina. Si Maria Anders, the contact name. Okay? Yeah. So, this is what uh, the SQL means. We just only want to see the customers living in the city of Berlin from the country Germany. Okay? Let's say we want to see customers. Yeah, ayun natin to. So run this. We would want to see customers who are from France and Spain. Diba? France and Spain. Okay, so let's see. So we want to see country who are where country is equals to France and country is equals to Spain. Yeah. or. Yan, or. Para, kasi maalin sa dalawa. Yun. Tama, or. It should be or. Diba? So, either way, meaning either country is France or the country is Spain. Yeah. So, diba, let's order this by the country, syempre, para naman naka-order siya. So, order by country. Right. Yun. So, F muna, then, where's the Spain? Yun, there's the Spain. So, F, then Spain. So, these are arranged automatically by default into an ascending order. So, if you want to make it in descending, so let's have the C. Or run. Yun. So, Spain muna bago yung France. Diba? Yan. Okay? So, how about try natin to. The nut. Let's try where nut. Let's put a nut. Yan. So, mangyayari dyan. So, let's say, run natin. So, it will display country who is not France. Not Francian. So, you would not see France here. Diba? Wala. Kasi sabi mo, what we are trying to say here is not country equals France. So, sabihin not France. You're going to display country who is not France. Yan yung mga yon. Di Spain, Sweden, diba? Switzerland. Yan. Yan. It will not display the country France. Not France. Lahat yan, not France. Parang ganun. So, it will display if this is not true. Okay? So, ganun yung not. Yan. So, logical or, logical and not. Yan. So, you can also have this, gaya nito. This example. Select asterisk from customer where country is Germany. Then, you would want either the cities to be Berlin and Stuttgart. Yeah. So, the country is Germany, but you would want to see only Berlin and the city Stuttgart. So, let's say, run natin this one. Germany. Where country goes to Germany. Wala naman pala. Sorry. Yun. So, look at here. So, these are the customers that we have in Germany. So, these are the cities, diba? Berlin, Mannheim. Ano nga natin? Order by city. Order city. Yan. So, Aachen, Berlin, Brandenburg, etc. Diba? So, there are lots of cities, mga customers natin. But in here, dito, so we would not want to see only customers who lives in Berlin and Stuttgart. Okay? If we were to see here, saan ba yung Berlin? So, we have, ito, si Maria Anders. Then, Stuttgart would be, ito, si Rita Muller. So, let's try to run this code. Run. Yun. Diba? So, dalawa lang sila. So, these are the people who lives in Germany, but specifically, they are the ones who live in Berlin and Stuttgart. Yeah. So, pwede yan, ano? So, kumbaga, we have the open and close parentheses in order for this to be performed first. So, these conditions, the first condition, actually, we have three conditions here. 1, 2, 3. So, in order for this to be executed first, so we need to put this in an open and close parentheses. Okay, so, ano pa ba? So, ito yung kanyang exercise. Okay? So, nakilalagay natin dito. Select all records where the city, which is the column, has the value Berlin, and the postal code column has the value of 1222. So, nalagay natin dyan. Siyempre, dito ay select. Tama ba? Select asterisk from customers. This is where. Tapos, sabi dito, has the end. Diba? Sabi niya, value Berlin and the postal code. Eh, di, alam na natin na this is the end. And logical operator. And, sabi niya, the column, postal code. Eh, di, postal code. Diba? So, yun yung sasagot natin. Correct. So, diba, there are times that we wanted to see specific records pertaining to certain conditions. So, a certain condition. So sometimes conditions would have the and, the or, and the not operators. Okay? So, yan. These are very important logical operators. And kasi usually this will be used for searching. Yan. We use select asterisk form kasi it will give us a result table. So the result table is the one that we're going to access kay MySQL reader. So this is in C#, this is MySQL reader. Okay? So there's the result table in MySQL of the MySQL as far as C# is concerned. So that's the MySQL reader. Okay? So the results are being put into the MySQL reader. So, okay, then the minimum and max. Let's try this one. Min and max function. Okay, so the min function returns the smallest value of the selected column, and then the max function returns the largest value of the selected column. So, the name itself, minimum or min, the smallest value, max, the largest value. So, syntax, minimum, select min, tapos then the column name from the table, then where the condition. Okay. So, this one, gamit dito is the products database naman. Example, select min price as smallest price from products. Okay. So, gumamit siya ng as. Actually, as here is an alias. So, an alias just for you to know or to have a title dun sa ating return data. So, this is an alias for this one. Meaning, it will return the result table with a column name smallest price. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, so our table here is products. Let us see muna that products in other window. Ano ba yung products? What are the fields? So the fields of the products are product ID, product name, supplier ID, category ID, unit, and then the price. Okay, yan. So these are the fields. Yan. So makita nyo, we do not have any field name, smallest price. Okay? What we wanted here to see is the minimum price that we have from our products. From our products. So from the product table. So it will return the data, di ba, to the return table. So wala siyang field name. So in order for it to have a field name, so we put alias. So as smallest price. So let's run this one. Yun. So 250 pala. The smallest or the minimum value of the price field. Well, we have the price field. So the minimum value of this is 2. 2.5? 2.5, yes, 250. 2.50. Right? This is what we mean when we use the min function. So usually these are being used only for numeric values. Yeah. Okay? So this is the the alias of this one, the result. So you can name it anything, or any name, as long as it would describe the result. Diba? Smallest price, or it should not have any space, Parang you're just naming a variable din. Smallest price, or sabihin natin, kahit Tagalog, pinaka mababa. Okay, halimbawa lang. So, just for you to see na you can change this. These are just names. So, you can put any name as long as this would describe the result. Pinakamababa price. Yeah. So, you should not put any space there when naming. Okay? So, that's minimum. Siyempre, you would know what a max price is. Diba? So, max price here would basically give us the result of the biggest prices that we have. So, yan, the largest price, 263. If we look at here, dito sa product, so yan, kita natin dito yan. Okay? So, yun lang naman. Basically, that's how they use the mean and the max. So, select max price, and then you put a name on it using as. Okay, so this is an alias for this one. So largest price. Okay? Yeah. Gets ba yun, guys? So about count, average, and sum. So usually these are used on numeric values then, syempre. Obviously, you have count, average, sum function. So, yan. So, count. Siguro, name na lang ng function na count. You would know that it would count values, di ba? So, it will count certain number of records. No, it will count records. Okay? So, let's say the syntax is select, count, column name from table, where, condition. Okay? So, it will count the column name. Yan. Likewise naman with the average, it will get the average of this particular column from the table. If you have a where condition, then you put a where condition. So, likewise with sum, you're about to sum the column from this table on your where condition. Yeah. The demo database, let's say count. Yeah. Select, count, product ID. So, wala siyang where, no? So, select, count, product ID. So, meaning, it will just count how many are, or how many product IDs do we have from the products table. So, tingnan natin. So, let's see. Run. We have 77 product IDs. Diba? We have 77 product IDs. Let's see sa products. Siyempre, we have 77 records, so definitely, we would have 77 product IDs. So, kasi you wanted to count the product ID, so it will count. This is the field, the field. So, meaning it will count all of the product IDs, the records having a product ID, so it will give us 77. Yun, ito siya. So, if you want to have an alias, just use as number, total. Total count. Yan. So, instead of count product IDs, it will replace it with an alias name, total count. Diba? Or total. Total. Right. Yun. Diba? Yan. So, in our program, this variable here is the one to be used, no, to extract this value. 77. Okay? How about the average? And then, so select AVG, then the field name that you wanted to average. So, all prices will be added up, and then it will be divided to according to how many number of prices there. So, kaya it will give us the average from the products table. Okay, so let's run. Run. Yun. So, it has an average of 28.86 pesos. Kunyari, this is pesos. So, the average price that we do sell our products is nasa 28.86 pesos yung average ng prices natin. Okay? Yeah. So, again, if you would want to have an alias, so you put as and then put a name. Diba? Average. Average price. Run. Yun, diba? So, instead na you would see AVG price, so, yun. And this will be used again. The reason why we put an alias here, or we need to put an alias here, is we are going to extract this value. So, parang this would be the variable name of the result table. Okay? Yan yun. Okay? Then, sum. Yan, may nagbibili ng isda. Okay, so, let's try sum. Okay, so, ano naman to? So, it will sum up the quantity. Diba? So, the quantity, you see here, saan ba yun? Products pala, products. Ano bang ginagamit? Wait. This one would be for order details pala. So, this naman order details na table. Ayan. So, from the order tables, we have the quantity field. Yun. These are the quantity, and we'd want to sum it all. So, how many products do we have? Let's say these are the quantity of our products. Let's say for product ID 11, we have 12. For product ID 42, we have 10. Diba? So, how many products? These are the products that were bought to us, yung binili sa atin, ano? So, we'd want to count all of them. So, not count. We want to sum all of them. So, yun. So, we are to sum up all the quantity. So, run. Yun. So, it has a sum of 51,370, meaning there are 51,000 products that were bought to us. Okay? So, ito yun. So, that's the sum. Okay? Again, if you want to have a variable for this or an alias name, just put an as. then the product. Basically, this what its purpose. As far as you see the names, we would know their purpose. Okay, the purpose of the function. Now, when you see count, meaning it will just count every item, every uh, rows, or every data, right? Or every record. It will just count. Okay, for the average, it will compute for the average of all of the records on that particular column. Well, on this particular columns, average it. And then for the sum, you're basically accumulating, di ba? Your all of the records in that particular column. Yeah. So yeah, basically those are the uh, function count, IVG, and sum. So mostly they're used for uh, numeric data, numeric fields. Okay, yeah. And then we have the like. Let's take the like. So the MySQL like operator. So the like operator is used in a where clause to search for specific pattern in a column. The column is the field, the records. So there are two wildcards. So ito, may wildcards dito. Ayan, wildcards. Tingnan natin yung wildcards. Ano ba yung wildcards? So, MySQL wildcard characters. A wildcard character is used to substitute one or more characters in string. So, it is used to substitute one or more characters in a string. So, wildcard characters are used in the like operator. Kaya nandun siya sa like operator. So, the like operator is used in a where clause to search for a specific pattern in a column. So, if we wanted to search for a specific pattern in a field, column is the field, and in a field or in a column, so we would want to use the wildcard characters. Now, let's go back first to the like. Like. So, there are, sabi dito, two wildcards often used in conjunction with the like operator. What are those two wildcards? We have the asterisk, the percent symbol, and percent symbol, which represents 0, 1, or multiple characters. So it represents 0, 1, or multiple characters. The underscore or underscore sign represents 1 or single character. Okay? So ito daw represents 0, 1, or many characters. This represents a single, just one character. Okay? So, this is the syntax. So, sabi, sa like daw is usually an operator used in a where clause. So, this is the where. So, where column or field is like or like certain pattern. Okay? So, pattern here is the ones that you want to see. No, the ones that you would want to extract from your database. So tip, you can also combine any number of conditions using and or operator. So you could also use, di ba, yung and or natin are used in the where clause then. So you could basically make a conjunction with and or on the where clause with the like. No? Yeah. So, yan. Example natin, the like operator. So, kunyari daw, where customer name, like, tapos meron siyang A, then the percent. Ibig sabihin daw nito, this means that you are finding any values that starts with letter A. So, meaning, any records from the customer name that the name of the customer starts with letter A. Okay? Why? Kasi, di ba, this 1% means 1 or 0, 1 or multiple characters. Ibig sabihin, kahit ilan pa yan. Kahit how many would the name, the characters after the letter A would be, basta as long as the name of the customer starts with letter A, it will give you the result. Okay? Yeah. Ito naman, where customer name is the field like %A. Sabi naman dito, it will let you find any values that end or ends with letter A. So, no matter how many characters before letter A is, as long as it ends up with letter A. As long as the name of the customer ends up with letter A, so it will give you the results. You would have all the list of the customers ending with letter A in their names or on their names. Okay? This one naman. So, where customer name like percent or percent. Ayan. This one naman will let you find any values that have or in any position, meaning that have an or in the name, or. Okay? No matter how many characters starts before letter O and how many characters that are uh, that are after letter R. My name is basically would fit here kasi 'di ba ang name ko is J-O, let's say. 'Di ba name ko is Jorg. Ayun. I have the OR here. So ito yung percent. Kahit in how many ano pa yan, letters yan, let's say J-E, J or G. So it will still be displayed kasi percent ang nakalagay dito. Percent is used. Meaning, no matter how many characters before the letter O, it will give you as long as you have the O and R in between. Ito, kahit gaano pa kadaming characters yan, as long as you have the OR in between of the percent, it will be displayed. Okay? Yeah. How about this one? Where customer name like, then it has used the underscore. Diba? Finds any values that have R in the second position. So, meaning, it will just, then may asterisk, may ano pala, may, tawag nito, we have the percent symbol here. Meaning, you specify just one character here. You're only specifying one character. Meaning, letter R is placed on the second character. So, in my name, my name would not display kasi my name is Jorge. Okay? Kasi I have, the underscore here is letter J. Yun. Kaya lang, after letter J, I have letter O. So, di na. Kasi dito, in this particular example, you're searching for the name of a customer that has letter R in its second uh, letter or character in its name. So, kung ganito, yan, if my name is just like here, it's like this, so it will be displayed kasi J is represents the underscore, and this is what I'm searching, diba? The letter or the second character letter R. And then, the GE here is the, diba, the percent. Kasi percent means kahit ilan pa yan, no matter how many characters are left here. Yan. As long as you have used percent. So this represents the percent. The underscore represent just uh, one single character. Okay? Ayan. Okay. Let's jump muna over here. Jump muna ako dyan. Write my name. Okay, so A, then you have 1, 2, 2 underscore here. A, 1, 2, 2 underscore, then a percent symbol. So, meaning you're finding any values that starts with A and at least 3 characters in length. Okay, ibig sabihin, you're searching for a particular customer that starts with letter A, then at least 3 characters here, any characters would represent, no? 2 characters, and then kahit ano na dito. So, you have your percent here. Okay? So, in this case, dito sa taas, if we're going to rewrite this one, and you would want my name to be searched, or to be, to be viewed. So, I would write here 2 underscore. Diba? Yan, 2 underscore. So, meaning, the first underscore is letter J, the second underscore is the letter O. So, any characters here, meaning, as long as at the third character is letter R. Yun. And then, this would be the percent. So, percent meaning, any numbers or any characters. How many, either, multiple characters that represents yung, na to, percent. Diba? Kaya, my name would display with this condition. Okay? Yeah. So, basically, you would know this na kasi meaning, you wanted to find your customer name starts with letter A, and then, and are at least 2 characters. After the letter A, there are 2 characters, then in the, at least 2 characters in length, and then, if, the meaning at least 2 characters, so, ibig sabihin, A space, meaning at least you have the A and the character here. At least you have 2 characters. So, let's say, for example, the name here would be, let's say, Annabelle. Yeah. So, Annabelle would basically, yung, shows up here. Kasi, you have the A, and then at least one character here. Yun. Then, ito na yung percent. Okay? So, at least 1. Pero, let's say, you have B, Benel, o Panabel. So, this would not, display kasi, you have letter B, yung the first letter, so, hindi na siya mag-display. Okay? Yeah. So, demo database. Siyempre, may try it yourself dyan. So, try natin. So, customers having a name with letter A ang start run. Yun. Si customer name to, no? Excuse me, customer name. Alfred, Anna, Antonio, Around the Horn. So, these are all customers. Starts with letter A. Diba? Try natin if their customer starts with letter B. O, pwede naman capital or small. Yun. So, hindi siya case sensitive, no? This is not case sensitive. Let's write small with small b. Oh, yeah. So, it will still display. So, this is not case sensitive. Diba? So, let's say, customer starts with BO. Yun, meron. Diba? So, that's like. Customer starts with at least any character, and then the second character would be B. Tingnan natin. Right. So, wala. Okay. So, wala siyang second character natin is B. Let's say A. Okay, wala din. Meron. Ayun. Cactus. Kasi this is the first character. Then, second is letter A. Yun. E. Then, second character is letter A. So, as long as any characters or any letter in front of letter A, as long as the second character of the name is letter A, ito siya. Okay? So, ganoon, no? That's the like. Using the wild cards. Yeah, using the wild cards. Okay? Nagets ba yun guys, yung wildcards natin? Andyan pa ba kayo? Patingin nga ako ng camera, if nandyan pa. Mag-shot ako ng attendance. So, on Friday, guys, on Friday, uy, wala pang camera yung iba, guys. Please, open your cam. Sir, wala pong camera. Walang camera si Fritz. Harpreet, how about your Harpreet? Wala yata si... Yun. Okay, so let's pause. 1, 2, 3. Tingnan natin. Baka nagkamali ako. Okay. Ayan. So, that's the like using wildcards. Okay. How about we already have discussed the inner join kasi ito na lang yung gagamitin natin usually the inner join. So we're not going to use left join and right join are not usually being used, no, but they all have their logic, no, on joining tables. Okay, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to merge all of them. Kasi when we say left, if you have a main table and then you wanted to merge a particular portion of the table who are parang who are satisfied more of the condition, if the left table satisfies most, no, of your condition, it will join to that particular table, or the right table the right table will be joining to the left. Ganun. As far as the left table has the most of the records uh, or that is true, no, from the condition, or has met all of the conditions or mostly of the conditions. So the right table will be joining to the left and vice versa with the right. Okay? So parang ganun. But usually what we use is the inner join. So siguro you know naman the inner join na, and I have discussed the inner join. Ayan. So natin yung left join. So yung left join. So that the table from the right will be joining to the table as long as the table from the left satisfies most of your condition. Parang ganun. Yeah. Siyempre, ganun din yung right. Diba? So the right table or from the left table will be joining to the right if the right table would satisfy most of the conditions. Yeah. So cross join. Ayan. So basically all of them either the table 1 and table 2, all of the records will be crossed or joined with each other. Okay, not unlike with the inner join, all of those that are satisfied only, yan, will be joined together. Okay? Then, ano ba? Okay, group by. So, usually ginagamit din natin to. So, we usually use the group by. Okay? So, the group by statement groups rows. So, meaning there, when we say rows, these are the records. So, we are grouping records here. So, we group rows that have the same values. Okay? So, into summary rows. So, we're grouping rows with the same values. Parang, we're grouping things as they all belong to each other. Na they are like with each other. So, kaya, like, find the number of customers in each country. Yan, parang, kunyari, we wanted to group customers on their particular country. Let's say we wanted to group to Germany, we wanted to group Spain. So why do we need to group them? Kasi somehow we wanted to count them. Diba? Kunyari, we group first Germany. Why do we need to group to Germany? So all customers will be grouped into the country Germany. Why? Why did you group those customers? Kasi you wanted to count them. How many are the customers that we have in Germany? Diba? Likewise with Spain or other countries. So, yan. So, we can issue a count. We can issue max. We can count, let's say, how many customers do we have. So, yan. We will, or the maximum value, particular uh, numeric data type here. So, yan, max lang. With specific group. Diba? With specific group. Likewise with minimum and the sum and the average. Okay? So, example, syntax. Yan. Select, column name. Ganun pa rin naman, ano? So, we will be selecting the column names, kung ano yung column names that you wanted to display. Then, from that, from a particular table, and then where, these are conditions. Group by, yun. So, we're going to group them by according to the columns. So, separated by comma, syempre. You have the column names here. Kaya merong S dito. So, we could have several columns. Then, order by. So, if we wanted to order it by particular column. Okay? So, you know this already. We have just lang added group by. So, again, order by is always put at the least of the command. And then, yun order by. So, meaning una ang select, then from, where, then group by, and then the last is order by. If we wanted to order it. If we do not want to order, then you don't have to specify the command order by. Okay? So, this is the demo database. I think this is the customers table. So, yan. Let us try this SQL command. So, analyze muna natin what would be the output of the table. Select count, customer ID, country. So, meaning, we wanted to count the customer ID, and then we wanted to display the country. Okay? So, meaning, from customers, and then group by country. So, meaning, we wanted to count our customers pertaining to specific country. Okay? So, let us try. Yan. Okay? So, meaning, in Argentina, we have 3 customers. In Australia, we have 2 customers. In Belgium, we have 2 customers. In Brazil, we have 9 customers. Diba? So, let's try to order this according to the number of customer or to the highest, ano. So, let's say, lagyan natin to ng muna. Let's put an alias as uh, customer count. Yeah. Para naman, yan, di ba? So, we would not see count as customer ID here. So, customer count yun. So, let's try to order this. Order by customer count. Let's see kung gagana siya dito sa Yun. Oh, hindi siya tinanggap dito. I think yun, tama. So, order by, order by the customer count. Diba? So, order siya by ascending order. So, the list that we have is Poland, Ireland, tigi-tigisa lang, Norway. Then, on Switzerland, we have 2. Customer Australia, we have 2. Belgium is 2, Denmark is 2, then the largest that we have is under NEAT, we have the USA 30. Now, if you wanted to, syempre, see the highest value, edi, let's make it in descending order. Yun. Diba? So, the highest number of customers that we do have in a country is the USA. We have 13 customers in USA. The least customer that we have is Norway, Ireland, and Poland, or in this ito rin, Australia or Switzerland. You put a lot of advertisement here in this country kasi you do not have that lots of customers. So meaning we need to really put our eyes on this country for our ads advertisement kasi konti lang customer natin dyan eh. So we really need to have more customers from those countries. Diba yun? So ganun lang. That's why we use the order by and the group by. So we group them and then we count them. Okay? Tingnan natin yung iba pa. Let's see. Wala na siyang na ano. Just look at the database muna. Customers. Ayan. I think yun lang we can group them by city. And then we count them. Na naman. Let's try it on products. Let's say we wanted them to group natin sila according to supplier ID. So we wanted to group our products according to the supplier ID. And then we're going to count all of the products. So this would give us information how many products do we have on a particular supplier. Tama? Yun yung niyan, yung ating idea. So let's copy na lang this one. Where's that? Products. Okay, products. Let's change this. So we're going to count the product name or even the product ID. We count the product ID. Product ID as, let's say, ano na lang to, number of products or total, sige na, pwede na number of products. Okay. Tapos you wanted to see the supplier ID. Yeah. From the supplier, from the products table. Products. Group by, syempre we're going to group them according to the supplier ID. Their ID. Yeah. Mamaya natin lagyan ng order by. Let us see what would be the result. Yeah. Yun. So meaning to say, this is our supplier. Supplier ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In supplier ID 1, we have 3 products being supplied to us by this supplier. We do not know who the supplier is kasi the supplier is on the information ng supplier is on suppliers dito. Suppliers table. So supplier ID 1 is supplier name is Exotic Liquid. So, 2 is New Orleans Cajun Delights or Cajun Delights. So, yun. So, meaning to say, on those particular supplier, so the supplier number 1, which is Exotic Liquid, we only have 3 products that they are being supplied. to us by that supplier liquid supplier. Yun. Diba? Tatlo lang yung produkto natin na sinusupplyan nila. So, on supplier ID 2, you only have 4. So, they only have 4 products. Yan ito, yung New Orleans. So, 4 products lang ang sinusupply sa atin. Etc. Etc. Diba? So, diba? Using the group by, we can definitely get a particular information, no, that we wanted to have. So, since hindi natin alam, we do not know the supplier ID here. What is supplier ID 1? We do not know the supplier name. We can inner join them. So, we can inner join them together. Tandaan niyo pa ba yun, yung inner join? Ito. So, we need 2 tables here eh. The first table is the products. Diba? And then the supplier. Kasi from the supplier, we would know the supplier name. So, let's inner join the supplier kasi we only have the products here. Diba? Yeah. So, inner join natin yung supplier, and then what the field name that we want to see is not the supplier ID but the supplier name. So, papalitan natin yung supplier name dito. Supplier ID dito. Yeah. So, we want to see the supplier name, not the supplier ID. So, from products, then inner join. Yan. Inner join, ano yung name ng second table? Siyempre, suppliers. Inner join suppliers. Yan. So, this is the products. We will be counting the product ID from the products. And then we will display the supplier name coming from the supplier table. That's why we need to inner join it from here, di ba? So, from products, inner join suppliers kasi nandun yung supplier name on. Yeah. So, sa on, what is the field name that they make their connection or that they have their relationship? So, that's the primary key and the foreign key. Ibig sabihin, what is the field name that is with the products that has also a field name in the supplier. So, meaning the supplier do have its primary key, and what would be the foreign key of that field to the products table. So, ano ba yung kanilang pinagkapareho or pinaglink? So, run ko muna dito yung products. So, in the products table, we have the supplier ID, di ba? So, this is the product table. Supplier ID here is the foreign key. Okay? So, ito yung field. This is the field that is connected to the supplier. So, this is the supplier. Yan. Yun. So, the supplier ID here is the primary key. Since this is the supplier table, then definitely the supplier ID is the tawag nito, the primary key. Yan. So, in the products, supplier ID here is the foreign key. So, those are this is the field that they join together, that they connect, that they have their relationships. So, this is what we're going to do to connect them using that supplier ID. Ito. So, on, you would say first the name of the table, products. This is the name of the table, products dot supplier ID. So, you'll have to specify the name of the table kasi you are actually pertaining to the supplier ID which from the products table, which is the foreign key here, is equals to the suppliers dot supplier ID. Yan. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, you're joining suppliers table on the field name that they are connected together. So, supplier here is the foreign key from the products. Supplier ID here is the primary key on the supplier. Suppliers pala. Suppliers. Ay. Yan, suppliers. Yun lang siya. So, inner join the suppliers because we wanted to see the name of the supplier. And then on what is the field name that they are connected together, or field name that do they that has their relationship together, which is the supplier ID, diba? Because the supplier ID from the products table is the foreign key, and the supplier ID from the suppliers table is the primary key. So yun lang tatingnan nyo, the foreign key and the primary key. Okay? So run natin. Run. Oop, supplier. Ano bang, wait. Supplier ID. Tama naman. Hindi ba spelling ko? Supplier ID. Columns wedding group. Ambiguous. Okay, so, ito nga pala. So, sabi niya, column supplier ID in group statement is ambiguous. So, nalilito, when you say ambiguous, sabihin natin na nalilito. So, meaning, the MySQL is doubtful on what particular table I talking about grouping them, or grouping the supplier ID. So, which particular table, parang ganun, na I'm specifying for SQL or for my SQL to group with, or to group. Siyempre, I'm talking of the supplier ID from the products. So, I have to put here, product, the name of the table, products dot. Parang ganito, products dot, suppliers dot. I'm actually pertaining to the supplier ID, which is on the products that I wanted to group, not on the supplier ID from the suppliers. So I'm not going to group those supplier ID on the suppliers. What I would want to group is the supplier ID on the products, kasi I would want to know how many are of my products on a particular supplier. So yun. That's why I need to specify. Kaya na, when you see the error message ambiguous, meaning, nalilito siya, that my SQL is doubtful on where he would want to get that particular field. So you'll have to specify the field, the table, and then with a dot. So that the MySQL would know that you would want, that you are specifying, or that you are saying that this field here is to the, or from this particular table, the products table. Okay? So, ito yung gusto kong i-group. Yung nasa products, hindi yung nasa supplier. So, nalilito siya, no? Kung alin. Kaya, yan. When you see this ambiguous, meaning doubtful siya, so you'll have to specify what particular table. Okay? Then, run. Alam ko, mali spelling ko. Yan. Diba? So, meaning, the exotic liquid, we have 3 products. And New Orleans, you have 4 products. Diba? So, this is more meaningful than the supplier ID. Diba? So, it would be hard for us to know what's supplier ID 1, supplier ID 2, 3, 4. And if you're the manager, you would not know kung ano ba yung 1, 2, 3, 4. Kung if you have 200 suppliers, you would not really, diba, memorize, diba, all of the supplier ID of a particular supplier name. So, it would be hard for you to see, to understand, diba? So, let's order this by supplier name, kunyari. Let's say lang, supplier name. So, order by supplier name. Okay. Yun. So, letter A muna yung nag-start, then B, E. But if you're a manager, you would want to see, syempre, the numbers, the number of the product. So, kung mag-arrange it by the numbers of the product. So, i-arrange natin according to this alias, number of products. So, palitan natin. Then, run. Yun. Diba? So, this would see na 1 lang yung product sa Refrescos Americanas Ltda. So, it only give us one product lang. Yung supplier natin, isang produkto lang. So, we only have one product being supplied by this supplier. Diba? So, if we wanted to rearrange this according to a descending order, just put the ESC, then run. Yan. Diba? So, the supplier Pavlova is and with the Placer, they are the supplier that has 5 number of products that are being supplied to us. Okay? Gets ba yun, guys? Yung count. So, that's why we group them. So, let's say we can still order this by the supplier name kasi, di ba, may dalawa, we have 2 5s, 2 4s. So, hindi siya naka-order by the supplier name. Pwede rin naman. You can just add up here, order by, comma, put supplier name. Diba? Yun. Okay. Pwede naman siya. So, after sorting it with the number of products, it will be sorted by the supplier name. Okay? So, yun lang naman, basically. So, syempre, count would also, or the other functions like sum, ano ba yun? Average, yeah. It would depend on, let's say, field names with numbers with quantity. Diba? With quantity. So, kung mapansin nyo dito, guys, ano ba, did you understand yung ating SQL, the group by? So, you group by, usually we have to use functions like count, max, minimum, or sum, average. If we do have group by. So, the reason why we group them is there is one thing that we need to get information. Let's say we wanted to count them. We wanted to get the minimum value. We wanted to of a particular data that was grouped together. Diba? So, ganun yung ibig sabihin doon. That's why we use group by. Okay? Ano, wala. Sayang. Gets ba yun? Do you get it, guys? Ngayon, if you are to analyze the table, let's say for example, di ba yung shippers table, the shippers table are list down all of the shipping company, di ba, that is in partner with us. Let's say for example, we have a business here, we own this business. So meaning, sa shippers table, this is where the list of our partner shipper or shipping company. And we have 3 shipping companies here. Diba? Now, in terms of suppliers table, meaning these are the list of our suppliers. Yeah. Suppliers of our products. Diba? So, how many? Sabi dyan, 29. So, we have 29 suppliers. Okay? So, this, basically, suppliers table lists all of our suppliers. No? Suppliers of our products. Yeah. Now, syempre, employees, the employees are the lists, syempre, of our employee. So, syempre, ito yung mga employee natin. Ayan. So, this table pertains to our employees. Now, we have customers then. So, customers table are, syempre, the table which lists down all of our customers. These are the information that we could have. The name, the customer name, the contact name, the address. So, customer name somehow would be the name of the store. Contact name is the one that we could contact to that store, maybe the owner. Okay? Then the address, the city, postal code, country. That's what comprises with the customers table. Now we have categories table. So syempre our products are are being categorized. Syempre. With what are the categories? We have the beverages, condiments, confection, dairy products, grains, meat, etc. Diba? Kasi for example, why do we have this database? Kasi we have a big grocery. Let's say, for example, the name of our grocery is Pure Gold. Yan, di ba? And di ba, basically what would you see on the aisles on or on the shelves of the of Pure Gold, di ba? They are being ano tawag doon? Um, Yun nga, nakakategorize sila, they are categorized, and merong nakalagay doon na signage, di ba? Beverages, these are dairy products, these are grains, di ba? So they are categorized. Even when we store them in our database, there must be categorized, no? So, yun. So these are the code for the category or ID. Okay? So category ID 1 is beverages, category ID 2 is condiments, etc. And syempre, we have the products table. Ayan. So, the products table lists down all of our products. And what are the information that we can see here? Syempre, the product ID. That is the unique product ID of that particular product. Yun. And then, it says also as the supplier. But in here, we cannot find the supplier name. What we have here is the supplier ID. So the supplier ID here, the field name supplier ID here, is foreign key, which is reference to the primary key of the supplier ID of the supplier table. Guess nyo ba yun? So this one links so that we would know who is the supplier of this particular product. So we would look for the supplier ID 1 to the supplier's table. So we would know, okay, so this is the supplier of this particular product. Diba? Likewise with the category ID. So category ID here is the foreign key of the category ID reference to the categories table. Ito. So we would know that siya ano ba yung siya na to? Tingnan natin yung category. 1, beverage pala yun. Diba? Beverage. Okay? Search nga natin sa YouTube, ano ba yung choice na to? Yan yung ginagamit na, So, ayan, para siyang wine. So, ito yung ginagamit yata ng mga priest. Yan. Yung wine ito. Kaya siya ay under ng 1 beverage. Ito pala, category 1. So, yung chang, 1 din daw, category. So, beverage din. Ano to? Aniseed syrup. Ano yung ID na aniseed syrup? Category ID 2. Condiments. So, mga sweets, savory, mga savory sauces, religious spreads, etc. Diba? So, yun. So, these are, this is the foreign key. Gets ba yun? Kaya ganun yung ano natin, yung meaning ng mga table natin. So, bakit ganyan magde-link? So, these are organized actually, no? These are in normal forms. Kung may database kayo before, that's why meron tayong normal form. Ano yung normal form? We have the norm 1, the norm 2, and norm 3. na ginagamit na procedures. No, yun yung database normalization. So, we usually follow the the rules on how do we normalize our table para ma-reduce natin yung redundancy, di ba? Tsaka yung data inconsistent. That's why we really need to design our database in its normal form. No? Kaya yung database normalization. So, imbes na ilagay mo dyan yung pangalan ng category, just give another table, list a table for categories, put a foreign key, primary key on the category for this, for this records, and then, yun, i-link lang doon sa uh, products, diba? Products table natin. Okay? So, ganyan yung meaning nung ano na to, foreign key, foreign key. This one naman is primary key here, product ID. How about the orders? Orders, para makita nyo. So, these are the order ID. Ano ba tong order ID? So, let's say, for example, a customer make an order. So, when you make an order, you would have a specific customer ID or customer number, or customer order ID number. So, this is unique. Now, in one transaction, you have a customer order ID. Ito yun. Now, whose customer is this? So, this one, customer ID. So, you cannot see the name of the customer here. While customer ID here is a foreign key. So, customer order ID here is the product key. Customer ID here is the foreign key of the customer ID, which is located on the customer's table. Diba? Because on the customer's table, this is what you see. This is where we're going to see all of the information of our customers. So, kaya siya dito ay foreign key. Okay, so you would not list the name of the customer ID here. It's located on the customer's table. Employee ID. So, siguro this would say that this employee is the one who made the orders or who has approved the orders of this particular customer. Sino ba yung customer ID 90? Let's see muna. Let's look at the customers. So, we could use a function, an SQL, kasi let's say if we have thousands of employees, it would be hard, customers, it would be hard for us to, diba, to pan up and down just to look for the customer ID 90. Where, try na lang natin ang SQL, customer ID equals to 90. Right. So, that's, Wilman Kala, the name of the store, kunyari. So, the contact name is Mati. So, yun. So, siya yung bumili dito na may order na ID na 10248. And the employee who has made the order is employee ID 5. Who is that employee? Let's look at employees. Sino employee siya? 5. Si Buchanan Steven or Buchanan Steven, kung ano man ang basa doon. Diba? So, siya yung empleyado na nagbenta dito. Kailan yung order? When's the order? 1996 pa, oh. 1996, July 4. Yan. And, who is the shipper? Who is the company who ships the order? The shipper ID here is 3. So, foreign key na naman siya dito. Foreign key. Now, if we look at the shipper, sino yung 3 na yun? Let's see. Ito, si Grandma Kelly's Homestead. Diba? Siya yung nag-supply nito or nag-ship ng order na to. Yung 10 to 48. Diba? So, foreign key. Now, in this particular table, we do not know what are the what are the orders or what are the products that were ordered by this particular customer. We could not find it here in this particular table, the orders table yan, di ba? This is the orders table. So we would not see it here. Eh, saan yun? It is actually located on another table. Okay? And dito yon, order details. Okay? So this table, in this table, we would see the details of the orders of this particular order ID. Tandaan yan 10248. Okay, let's look at on the other tab, the order details. Yan. Look at the order details table. So, order detail ID, we have 1, 2, 3. So, these are just for us to have a primary key on this one. So, ano lang siya, parang ano lang to in sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But look at the order ID. So, the order ID is, di ba, what we do have kanina with this customer 90 is 10248. So, on these details, dito, order details, this is the 10248, 10248, 10248. So, meaning we have three products. We have three products ordered by the customer 90. Now, customer 90 on the order ID 10248, 10248. And what are those products? This is the product ID. So, meaning the 11, 42, 72. Those are the products that were ordered by that customer ID, which is an ID of 90. Diba? Now, how many product ID or how many products na in order with this product ID? 12. This 42 is 10, 72 is 5. Now, do we see that? Siyempre, product ID here is a foreign key to the products table. Diba? So, let's look at the products table. Siguro, anin ko to. Ito ko. Yan, para kita natin. Products pala. Products. Yan, medyo maliit na, no? Sana nakita nyo pa rin. Okay? So, yan. Saan ba yung details? Yun. So, 102.102.48.104. Sa tatlo. So, product 11 is ano kaya yun? Yun, Ikura. I do not know what is that product. Ikura. So, Ikura is, hindi pala. Isa pala. Queso pala. Queso Cabrales. So, Queso Cabrales, bumili siya ng Queso Cabrales with 12 in quantity. Diba? Ilan pa yung binili niya dun sa order na yun? 42. 42. Yun. Singaporean Hokkien Fried Mee. So, yun yung 42. Ilan binili niya? How many did he bought? 10 quantity. Then, another product that he bought is 72. Product ID. 72. Yun. Mozzarella di Giovanni. Mozzarella di Giovanni. So, he bought 5. Kita nyo? Diba? So, yun yung, this is what the order details is. Diba? In the orders, we could see lang are every order with specific order ID. But we cannot see what are the products that are ordered in that particular order. So those are listed still on the orders details. So this one. Ito nyo ba? So it's hard for us to see those products kasi we opened a tab, we search, we have searched manually by a mouse, di ba, or by a keyboard. So mahirap. Pero if we do this with an SQL and you would want to give the feedback only to you, so you issue a command, an SQL command, di ba? Na you basically you would wanted to see all of the products that were ordered by this order ID and sino yung bumili and who's the employee. Pwede yun. Di ba? Okay? Nagigets ba guys? Hello, nandiyan pa ba kayo? Hello? Hello? Uy, magsalita naman.
Nandito pa po.
Ay, buti naman. Kala ko'y tulog ka na, Francine. Naiintindihan ba guys? Yung purpose ng bawat table, kung bakit magkakahiwalay, then why do we need to use SQL? Kasi for the most part, we cannot see all information in just one table only. Other information are referenced to other table, and they are referenced by the use of the primary key and the foreign key. Yun yun. So, try natin. Try natin. If I'm the manager, I would want to know who bought this order. Yeah. Who bought this order? And what are the products that were, or the list of products that were ordered in this order ID? And who is the employee? No? Who is the name of the employee who made this product? Who made this, this order? Who approved this order? So, how many tables that do we need to inner join? Kasi if we tend to look at the orders, yan, the orders table. So, we need to join the customer table kasi nandun yung customer ID. We need to join the employees table because of the employee ID. We need to join the products table. Ang dami na. Customer, employee, products table just to know the exact the product name, di ba? The products that were bought on that particular order, di ba? Yeah. And ano pa? Syempre the order details. Kasi in the order details, this is where we could see all the products that were ordered in that particular order ID. So, ang daming table na. Di ba? The orders, the products, di ko naman sinabi supplier, no? Hindi na yung supplier. Yung employee na nagbenta, at saka orders, the products, employees, and order details. So, 4. Diba? And if you wanted to include the shipper, pwede. Sino yung nag-ship nun? Pwede you have 5. 5 tables to inner join. Kung di mayan, we have 4 command of inner join, I think. No? Kasi meron na ito inner join, inner join, inner join. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 inner joins with 5 tables. Kasi we have one specific table and we will inner join 4 tables. So all in all, we have 5 tables that were joined together. Diba? So our main table would be the order detail. I mean the orders table. Kasi this is where we could find the order ID. And from the order ID, we'd look for the products from the products table. Okay, and from the order details, you would see naman the products. Okay? Yeah. So orders, ito yung orders. And this is where we could find the customer, the employee, tapos yung order details, then suppliers din. I mean shippers pala, the shippers. Whew, dami niyan. Okay. What are the fields that we want to see? Siyempre yung ano ba? Yung name ng customer na lang. Name ng customer. ano ba yung field name doon? Let's look at customers. Yung name ng store. Ito na lang. Hindi na yung contact name. The name of the store. Kunyari, the customer name. So, balikan natin dito. Select customer name. Copy ko na lang. Copy. Select customer name. Ano pa? Comma. Yung employee din. Employee. Let's go first to the employee. Employees. The name. Siguro last name na lang ng employee. Last name. Comma. Then we wanted to see the shipper. Let's look at the shipper. Shipper. Sino yung nag-ship? Shipper name. Yan. Comma. Then, what are those products, diba, that were ordered? The products. Go to products muna. Products. Product name. Okay. And the quantity. Mamaya. Products name. And quantity of the product. Siguro. Sama natin. Nandun yung sa order details, diba? Order details. Check natin. Yun, nandun nga siya. Sa quantity. Comma. Quantity. Yan. So, yung date, pwede rin yung kailan siya in order. Okay. To order date. Sige, lagay na rin natin order date. Nandito yan sa orders table. Grabe, ang dami na yan. Order date. Ayan. So, basically, these are the fields that we wanted to see. Name of the customer, the last name of the employee, the shipper's name, the product itself. We wanted to see the product, the name of the product, and then the quantity that were bought by that particular customer, and then its order date when it was ordered. Okay? So, from orders, syempre, this is the table orders. Inner join, MG. Inner join. Okay. Unahin natin i-join, let's say, si customer. Ito. Customer's table kasi this is the customer ID ito. Para hindi tayo malito. Let's make it in sequence. So, customer order inner join customers. Kasi this is where we're going to get the customer name, di ba? Customers. Yeah. On. Yan. On. So, meaning, the orders table and the customers table. What particular field do this two have in common? Diba? Yung reference, nila, that they have their relationship. Sa orders, I think this is the order table, diba? Sa orders, we have the customer ID. Tama? And sa customers, meron ding customer ID. Kasi the customer ID here is the foreign key, and the customer ID naman on the customers is the primary key. So, doon sila nagtagpong dalawa. This is the field that they do have in common for their relationship. Okay, so on, specify muna natin yung table name, which is orders. On orders dot customer ID equals with the customers. So, yung table yun, customers dot customer ID. Yan. Diba? So, this is the customer. Okay? Orders, that customer ID, dun sila nag-equal. Tama? Yan. Si orders, saka si customer table. Then, the next na inner join natin. Inner join. Oh. last name. So this will be coming from the employee. Tama? Yeah. So, employees table. Ito. Employees table. Employees. So, inner join employees. By the way, when we do this, 'di ba, when we design tables, we usually use TBL, 'di ba? We put TBL first. Dito kasi sa kanila walang TBL yung prefixes. So we use TBL just for us to parang specify that this is not a field, this is a table. Kasi it would be parang hard for us to determine by just one reading, this is a table, this is a field. Kasi if you have a TBL here, TBL, di ba? TBL orders, TBL customers. So basically, this would entail us that this is a table and this is not a field name. Tama? Madaling makita. Wala silang ganun. Anyways, just lang for your information only. Okay, yan. Employees here, this is a table. Inner join employees on. So, sinong may connection kay employee? Okay, sino yung connection? Dito rin, si order din. Si orders table, may connection din kay order employee. Dito, saan sila what field, particular field? Employee ID. Diba? So, on, si orders, diba? Yung ating table natin on orders is the table that ang ating foreign key dito is, employee ID equals with the employees table dot employee ID. Dito sila nag-equal. Sa orders that employee ID or employees that employee ID. Tama? Then, another inner join. Gosh. So, shipper name. Okay, shipper name. So, the shipper name would be coming from the shippers. So, the table shippers. Inner join table shippers. On sinong may connection? Who is the table that has a connection with shippers? Okay? Sino dyan? Siyempre, wala dito Ayun pala, shipper ID. Siya din, si order. So, si order still has a connection with the shipper ID. On orders table, orders dot shipper ID equals with the shippers table dot shipper ID. Yan, di ba? Then, the product. Tama? Yan. Sunod natin kukunin is yung product name. Okay? Kaya lang yung product name, wala siyang connection sa orders pa. Tama? So, we might as well, wala ditong name ng product So, we might as well inner join first the table order details. Kasi nandun yung name. Diba? Nandun yung connection ng product sa order details. Wala dito sa It doesn't have any connection here. The product name, di ba? In order for us to have a connection to the products, we have the product ID. So we do not have any product ID here. So where we would get that connection? We need to connect this first to order details kasi may connection pa to sa order details. So what is the field connected to orders and order details? Di syempre the order ID. So that's why we need to inner join first the order details. So inner join order details. Okay. On. Saan may connection si order na table kay order details? Syempre sa order ID. Diba? Check natin dito. Wait, copy ko muna baka biglang mawala. Okay, check natin dito sa order details. In the order details, yan, di ba? We have the primary key here. Ito, order ID pala. Yan, the order ID. Oh. Dito siya may connection. Order ID dito sa order. So, on orders dot order ID equals order details na table dot order ID. Diba? Yun. So, from the inner join, si orders. So, the orders table has a connection with the order details, order details. Kulang S. Order details, which is the order ID. Okay? Sabi ko muna, di pa tayo tapos. We're not done yet. Okay. Now, from the order details, yan. This is the order details table. We can now connect the product kasi meron siyang product ID din na foreign key. And dun sa products, we have the product ID as the primary key. Ayun, di ba? So, we can connect na. Okay? So, the next inner join natin is inner join the products table. Products. On. Diba? So, on. We will focus now on order details. Okay? Order, wait. Sana spelling ko dito. Order details. Ayan. Diba? So, on the order details, or pwedeng products muna, on products, order details nga. On order details table, dot, yung foreign key niya dito is the products ID. Tama ba? Product ID. Product ID. So, product ID equal siya sa products dot product ID. Diba? Wait lang, copy ko lang ulit. Yan. Then, ano pa ba? Sabi natin. Yung quantity naman, nasa order details na yun. So, naka-inner join natin order details. Okay. The order date is nandito naman ng order date kay order. So, okay na. So, sabihin, we have connected all of them together. Tama, yan na yun. So, you want to see here. So, wala tayong where. May where pala. Ang where natin is the order ID lang na 10248 ang i-display natin. So, where order ID equals 10248. Yan. Ito, this is important. We need to specify what particular table is order ID is that we're going to have in air condition. Kasi maraming order ID. May order ID sa order details and we also have an order ID here in the orders table. Ambiguous na naman yan. Hindi niya alam saan niya kukunin. Diba? Try ko lang natin i-run to. Let's run this one. Yun. So, there's an ambiguous. Column order ID in where clause is ambiguous. Why? Because order ID is also located on the orders and there's also another order ID on the details. Tama? So, you have to specify. Okay, ilagay na lang natin yung orders kasi from the main table naman natin is orders. Orders dot. Yan. Doon natin siya specify. Okay? Hinati ko lang. Mawala, haba-haba na. Then, run natin. Unknown column, employee ID. Oh, sorry, long spelling. So, yan, tingnan nyo mga errors ha. Sabi niya, unknown column, employee ID. Since I have read this one, employees. So, there's no table such as employees. So, where's that? Ito. Employees. So, copy run again. Yun. Diba? So, these are the products. Ito yung product. Ayan, products. Yung queso crab, queso cabrales, 12 yung binili niya. Then, yung Singaporean Hokkien fried mee, 10 yung binili. Then, the mozzarella di Giovanni, then 5 is the quantity. It was purchased to us by Wilman Kala. And the employee na nag-purchase was, approve ng purchase was si Buchanan. Diba? And in this products, this order was shifted by the supplier, the shipper's federal shipping. Kita nyo? If you wanted to see din dito the shipper, the order ID, labas natin. Sige, dito na lang after ng shipper name. After ng shipper name, labas natin yung order ID. Order ID. Again, you'll have to specify from what table are you going to get the order ID. Again, di ba? Sabi ko nga, dalawa yan. It's in the orders table and the orders detail. So, you'll have to specify. Let's say, kunin natin sa orders table na lang. Order ID. Kasi it would, again, be unambiguous to MySQL. Kung saang table kukunin niya yun. Right. Yun. Nandito siya. Yun yung order ID. Gets? Guys? Look how powerful SQL is, di ba? Ganun ka-powerful ang SQL. Ngayon, di ba? If you wanted to group them, ganito, wanted to group them according to the orders, yan, to the order ID. Kasi these are the order ID. We have 10248, 10249. Magkakaibang order yan eh, ng bawat customer. Pwede, yung group by, i-group natin siya. Pwede yun. So, naka-group dyan per order. The first group is ito yung binili, second group ito yung binili, gano'n, etc. So, naka-group siya. Okay? You have any question? Kasi basically, diba sa program natin, sometimes you wanted to have a report. Diba? You wanted to display. Let's say, you wanted to click the supplier, the order ID. I-click mo yung order ID and then you would want to see who bought that supplier ID, the products that were bought on that particular order ID, who is the shipper, diba? Who is the employee that made that transaction to the customer. So, yun, makikita natin on screen. So, this is the MySQL data reader. Ito yun, yung MDR. So, what we're going to do is just read each of every row on the data reader and then assign natin on a particular text box or list box. Ganun lang. Okay? So, if you wanted to get each and every result of the data reader, that is the time that we're going to issue a loop statement. So, we're going to loop from the very first record up to the last record. So, there's a loop. And then, we're going to issue it on a particular, kanyari, list box. So, we're going to assign the value of each record on the data reader to every row of the list box. So, loop yun. It will loop as many times as how many records that it would read. Diba? So, those are the next thing that we will be doing with our code. Okay? That is why you really have to understand the inner join. So, kunyari, there could be circumstances that how many orders that a particular employee had a transaction, di ba? Kasi, sabihin natin, let's say for example, this is an online ordering system. And your employee would only accept orders through online. So, dito, you would see your industrious employee, yung masipag mong employee. Kasi, you would basically, kunya, you wanted to click the employee and then these are the orders that were taken by that particular employee. Diba? So, you would know how many uh, how many orders that were transacted by a particular employee. Diba? You would group them according to the order ID by or with the employee ID. Diba? So, you would basically know, let's say, account mo siya. Diba? So, makikita dun, all of list of the employees and then the number of orders, total count. Oh, no, the number of orders or orders that was transacted by the employee. So, makikita mo dun na, these are the number of transactions or orders made by or transacted by this particular employee. So, para, let's say, for example, why do you need that? You would want to give the employee for a promotional purposes, di ba? Bigyan mo siya, or you would give, let's say, a bonus, di ba? On a particular employee for those who have the most number of orders that were approved or transacted. Di ba? So, ganun. Yun. So, that's why we use SQL to extract those information from the database.